starting with little more than one day's testimony before the Senate Rules Committee, I have become increasingly disturbed by the connotations of the revelations of that day and facts which have come to my attention since then. These connotations cast unjust reflections upon segments of our national banking system if untrue, but if true, certainly require legislative as well as administrative correction. There are enough stories here in Washington as well as all over the country of wrongdoing in some of these areas that I feel that it is only fair to those concerned and to the institution concerned that this matter be looked into so that the breath of air can come into this thing and we will know. I don't believe that the hearings in the Senate committee, though they raised many questions, went far enough and were sufficiently probing to answer the questions which have been bandied about.
There is no place for back alley politics where we have a situation like the one that which exists today. Sooner or later, a determination must be made about whether or not certain witnesses should be called. At whatever point this decision is made, I'm sure there are those who would disagree with it. I'm sure there are those who would insist that we keep on calling witnesses, regardless of whether or not their testimony was repetitious and added no information that the committee already possesses. But the committee has a responsibility to meet, and that responsibility is not to furnish a broadcasting studio for partisan politics where people are brought in to play the same record over and over again.
You will not be bothered with me again in your Rules Committee.
Well, you ought to at least tell the truth.
Now, just a minute.
That statement you made is absolutely untrue.
Now, listen. This is the first time in my life that an employee of a Senate committee in a public hearing has accused a senator of an untruth.
But both men are honorable men, presumably, and a man can speak for himself. And just because a man is a senator does not make him a god.
That's true. That's true. But Mr. McClendon had no business making such statements. I hope that he'll withdraw.
I had the same business making that statement as Senator Williams had.
No, you have not.
Here.
You have not.
You mean that a senator
Absolutely.
is absolutely beyond criticism when he makes an accusation against anybody?
Not at all. But you're an employee of this committee.
I don't care if I'm an
But he's an employee of the committee.
I'm going to sit here and let somebody misrepresent me to the public of the people of the United States and remain silent. Now, that's that. Whatever the consequences may be, you can take
Well, you take care of that privately, but you're putting it here in the official record, and it's an impertinence that I have never witnessed in any congressional proceeding in all the time.
Well, equally, I can say that in 74 years and 50 years of practice at the bar, I've never before in my life been confronted by a statement such as Senator Williams made without an ounce of truth in it, or even an element of truth in it.
Mr. Chairman, I ask that the council withdraw that.
No, let him leave.
He has disqualified himself from carrying on here.
I want to say that, in my opinion, this investigation is far more important than personalities or any controversy between individuals, either the committee or I. I think that we recognize that, and therefore, however, as a result of this most regrettable incident which happened this morning, wherein my own veracity and integrity was challenged by members or representatives of this committee, and having gotten the clear understanding that my assistance is no longer wanted, I am going to leave this committee room.
I've been aware of the fact that this investigation has been conducted in an atmosphere of political conflict, which is not my responsibility and is a fact about which I can do nothing. I've had to work in that context, and I've tried as diligently as I could to perform my duty honestly as the committee had a right to expect of me.
I have had my integrity challenged twice this week. The first time I overlooked it. Maybe I was wrong, but I interpreted it as a challenge to it when the suggestion was made that under oath I hadn't told all. But anyway, I interpreted it as a challenge to my integrity. I overlooked that. I always give the man the second opportunity, but no man gets the third opportunity to call me a liar.
Gary admitted that Baker brought Carole Tyler and Ellie Rometsch with him from Washington to New Orleans on the May 1963 trip. Mr. Gary said he spent several days, quote, partying, end quote, with them in New Orleans, but denied going with them to Dallas and Miami. Mr. Gary said he knew Carole Tyler socially and had been to her house at 308 N Street, Southwest, and had seen her many times in San Juan, Puerto Rico, with Bobby Baker. Mr. Gary stated that he and Baker were close personal friends, and that he didn't want to discuss Baker's private life, saying, quote, "I'm sure Baker is paying dearly at home now for this," end quote. When asked further concerning Ellie Rometsch, Carole Tyler, and the alleged parties, quote, parties, end quote, Mr. Gary declined to discuss the matter further, stating, quote, "If I'm asked by the committee about this, I will deny it even if they have photographs. My wife is expecting a denial and she will get it. I'll take the 1st through the 28th, end quote.